Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Memes of the Week. The best thing you can do for this channel is smash the like button the way that female high school teachers smash their students, so this video reaches a wider audience. And now on with the memes. Number one, according to scientists, this is what a Neanderthal looked like 130 to 40,000 years ago. Wait a minute, I think I saw that guy on television last year. Here he is. Apparently being a congressman is so easy that even a caveman can do it. But seriously, the colossal bioscience company will eventually be able to bring back the Neanderthal, as well as other lost hominid species. Imagine a zoo in the future populated by guys like this next to woolly mammoths. Up next, here's a short king that was arrested. Even if he didn't commit the crime, he certainly heard about who did. I better be careful posting this because maybe he hurt me. Hell, his sense of hearing appears to be so good that he can probably hear my thoughts too. If he's ever looking for work and Star Trek starts hiring actors to play the Ferengi again, then he would probably do just fine. They might even have to clip his ears in real life so that he looks more like Quark. Number 3, this 35-year-old Brazilian influencer spent $1 million in cosmetic surgeries and transformed herself so much that immigration officials didn't recognize her from her passport photo. She was detained and interrogated for 40 minutes in Sao Paulo. My guess is they knew it was her, but they just wanted to do a body cavity search with their swings. They also checked her baggage, if you know what I mean. Moving on, in the city of Toronto, only 25 condos sold all last month. And odds are those will never get built because new buildings have to be 70 to 80% sold before they end up breaking ground. It's over around here and it's worse than 2008 in America, and people are still in denial. And will come prices even as the inventory piles up. They aren't desperate enough yet, and people around here still have tons of money. This is what it's like when we're still in the complacency phase. Number 5, who knows more about politics? A political analyst with a PhD in politics or a Balkan taxi driver? I don't know about politics, but I would definitely trust the Balkan taxi driver with economics. My father was a Balkan taxi driver that called the top of the real estate market in 1989. And he also recently called the top of the Bitcoin market at 127,000 and sold his positions at that price. My Balkan taxi driver also knew enough about politics that he left Eastern Europe for Canada back in the 1960s. Up next, this singer Della Rosa was ended in a parked car, and nothing of value was lost. Just kidding. She was ended for speaking about not sleeping with a certain executive. So once again, a woman didn't have to take accountability all the way to the end. I guess that executive was connected, and in a country like Brazil where the crime rate is super high, he probably had her ended for bad-mouthing him, instead of good-mouthing him in his little head the way he wanted. Number 7, which skeleton is the female? I say B based on the pelvis, narrow shoulders, and shorter height. But these days people will say that both can be a woman. Also, don't forget that women are always right, and that means that the man is on the left. If you're still confused, maybe you can ask both skeletons to perform a parking demonstration so you know which one is the woman. The idea that you can change a person's sex is going to be seen as crazy in another 50 to 100 years. Moving on, someone named Fraser says that if you're thinking of creating a startup company in this circle, then don't. Because the culture has an aversion to ambition, has talent shortages, and insane regulation. Besides, even if you somehow manage to succeed there, they'll find a way to fine you for breaking arbitrary rules, like they do with American companies, because to them it's a sneaky form of taxation. Europeans will often make fun of you for trying to better yourself and make money. Number 9, another woman is picking her costume from The Handmaid's Tale, and it looks like the extra extra large and extra 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 large are the most popular categories chosen. Who would have known that it's the fatties that want to be turned into breeding slaves for attractive and powerful men against their will? This just makes me realize that women would rather be oppressed than bored. That's why no matter how many rights they gain over men, they're still oppressed. Up next, someone says we need astronauts like this because the other planets need crime too. Not exactly though. If we create only high IQ blacks by inserting higher IQ genes into every black baby, then the crime wave would crash and Africa would become Wakanda. I believe it. I see that as the only way to bring Africa up out of poverty. I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere in this man's background he had a white ancestor that passed on his intelligence and creativity to him. In the meantime, if we send regular blacks to space, some might actually be useful jacking alien spacecraft. Number 11, mothers of sons should be scared because any girl can make up any story about any boy, and even if it's not true, it can still ruin his life. I find this comical. It's like saying a man gets his life ruined by a false allegation, and once again it's women that's most affected. It's like saying women only care about men so long as it impacts them. That's not empathy. It's called being selfish, and I'm sick and tired of pretending like it's not. Moving on, many women will go on a first date with you with zero intentions to have a relationship. Also, they can get from free food. Then they'll friend zone you. That's when you force them to pay their half separately. But women aren't this dumb. Most won't friend zone you until they get home with high hopes of a second date only to be ghosted later. This picture is a male power fantasy for all the men out there that have been used as foodie calls in the past. It's pure hopium. Number 13, this guy's wondering why his girlfriend applied for the same credit card and she got approved for 3 times the same limits, even though his credit score, credit age, and income is 5 times higher than hers. Of course, because women are better customers because they tend to be irresponsible with money. The guy would probably pay the full balance off each month, collect points and cashbacks, and end up costing the credit card company more money than they make off of him. Up next, this OF model was found on the side of the road with a broken spine in Dubai, after missing for 10 days. Should we have any sympathy for women that go to Dubai looking to exploit men's sexuality for cash and prizes? Also doesn't mention it in this article, but I suspect that she was covered in fecal matter. This is the 21st century version of waking up in a hotel with a kidney missing in Thailand after blacking out at a bar. Number 15, this student gets the letters L and R tattooed on her hands after struggling with directions. What kind of student? Lesbian dance theory, perhaps? Good thing for us that robots and AI will be running our soy society because you definitely don't want someone dim-witted like this doing it instead. Maybe instead of tattooing, someone could have told her that everyone has a built-in L in their left hand by simply doing this. Moving on, look at who the new New York Mayor, Ma'am Danny, hired for his transition team. No pun intended. A transgender rabbi named Abby Stein, and she's an anti-Zionist member of the Jewish Voice for Peace in Gaza. Here are some old pictures of Shirley Stein, who now goes by the name Abby, and also stands for the organization called Queers for Palestine. I hope he's got his pilot's license and can operate a parachute off a rooftop. Man, Danny sounds like he's trolling the New York Jews with this one. Number 17, meanwhile in Canada, tens of thousands of people have died waiting for medical care in the past year. 23,746 to be exact. But hey, at least healthcare is free, right? The Canadian death care system is also fast and efficient at abortions and assisted dying. This is what social services look like at their best. For some reason in the United States you end up paying, but America is the last in access to care, and they're the last in health outcomes. Up next, a Swedish startup built this device that trades food for litter, and wild crows drop off cigarette butts, and then they get a treat for doing so. Isn't it great how wild crows are more socially responsible than the average third world migrants? I guess that all it takes is a murder of crows to clean up your city. Is it my imagination, or is the average crow more intelligent than the average 67 IQ Somali pirates? Some people say it's a fake story, but I checked it, and it's actually real. Number 19, and speaking of immigrants with animals, here is Valentina Gomez. And she got in trouble with Muslim migrants after saying that this is a goat and not a wife. Why would the Muslims get angry unless there was perhaps some validity to her claim? But she didn't even mention Islam. Why didn't Greeks also get upset about this? Oftentimes they're mocked that they like to herd goats and do strange things with them. As for the Muslims, talk about outing oneself. Moving on, continuing with the animal theme, here's Santa Claus while he was young and poor, before signing a contract with Coca-Cola. Looks like besides snazzy red and white outfits, they also provided him with sleigh and reindeer. I miss the old Santa when he was riding around with Krampus instead of elves. Krampus was a horned demon-looking creature that would traumatize and punish badly behaved kids. Maybe we need to bring him back. Number 21, in the Balkans, however, they aren't afraid to scare kids. If you don't behave, your parents will threaten to sell you to gypsies. Meanwhile, in the United States, parents have to bribe their kids with rewards if they behave themselves like going to Disney. I can confirm. My parents sold me to gypsies, and then the gypsies returned me and demanded a refund, which my parents never gave them. My parents gypped the gypsies. Up next, looks like Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau are made for each other. Justin screwed over an entire country while Katy demands $5 million from a disabled veteran. But in this case, Katy is correct, because the vet agreed to sell her a property for $15 million, and then he canceled the deal. The judge ordered him to pay $2 million for the cost of a late closing. Just because she makes a bad astronaut and performer doesn't mean that she's always bad. Number 23, speaking of Trudeau, he left Canada, is now living in Beverly Hills. Melly John Lee is also moved to France, and Chrystia Freeland, Trudeau's deputy prime minister, also banned in Canada, is now living abroad. They wrecked the country and left it in a jeet-filled depression and have now abandoned ship. The moral of this story is never trust a politician who's immune from the consequences of his or her policies. Moving on, you know that things are really bad in Canada with enrichment when the French-Canadian government in Quebec will be banning all prayer in schools and restricting religious-based meals. They're also banning prayer in public, so no more Muslims will block the streets praying. As for the schools, you just know that more private Muslim schools will be created, and that means even less assimilation by Muslims into the society at large. Number 25 and the last one, careful out there, guys, because you might actually think she's cute, but you wake up next to a woman with the face of a pepperoni pizza. Fake up is definitely a lie, but she knows that she couldn't get a man other than a 3 or a 4 looking like dominoes. Although I'm not exactly sure why she's not taking Accutane, which is used for severe acne. Sure, it has side effects, but can it really be worse than looking like that? So that's it for another Memes of the Week. Please give this video a like to push it up in the algorithm, and so new viewers can find it. If you enjoyed this series and want me to keep making it, then donate it to PayPal and Subscribestar links. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.